Traditionally, we talk about it as being individuals who have two derivatives of the primitive ectoderm involved with abnormalities, and those have typically been defects with the skin and sweat gland development, differences in hair formation, difference in tooth formation, and differences in fingernails and toenails.
Many of the genes that cause ectodermal dysplasias are going to affect the teeth because the teeth are ectodermally derived tissues. The most frequent manifestation is missing teeth, and you can be missing one or multiple teeth. In some conditions, you can also have enamel defects or other kinds of changes in the teeth. But the most common is hypodontia or missing teeth, which when you're missing multiple teeth or can be missing all of the teeth, that can be quite a severe anomaly to have and can require years of treatment to rehabilitate or habilitate that problem.
I know that it certainly ballooned into something way more than she ever dreamt of, being a life of a farmer in southern Illinois in 1978 when I was born. But, you know, she was just trying to find answers for herself. And initially I was only one of a handful maybe in the whole world. And then she found a handful in the Midwest, and she's like, well, if there's this many here, there's got to be way more than that.
The basis of the organization was to provide information because there wasn't any. There was absolutely no information that one could use to make any kind of decision about care back in the early 80s. Because having information makes it possible for people to make decisions out of knowledge rather than guess.
I often describe the NFED as a family I never knew that I had and didn't know that I could live without.
Brett has hypohidrotic ectodermal dysplasia, and he was diagnosed probably about 11 months old. So he suffers from no sweat glands, and he has all of the conical shaped teeth. He only has 8 teeth, and he has very dry skin, lots of eczema, and we have a lot of problems with the dry, cracking skin.
I was fitted with dentures when I was 3, I believe, and yeah, I don't think any kid's real wild about having a set of dentures shoved in his mouth, so I was pretty typical in that sense of the word. I know I hit them, but they were always found, and you know, as you're young and wearing dentures, you're growing a lot, so you go through a lot of pairs.
I have hypohidrotic ectodermal dysplasia, the autosomal dominant form that primarily affects teeth. So throughout the years, I had many appointments and long trips and surgeries. Hated to smile, then became more comfortable with myself, learned to enjoy smiling, and through all of that, really wanted to help others that had special needs or just weren't happy with their teeth. So loved my dentist growing up and decided, hey, I could be a dentist. So went to dental school, and now I'm the board of directors of the National Foundation for Ectodermal Dysplasia and lecture at family conferences, help families with questions, and I do have some patients that have ectodermal dysplasia as well.
What they're going up against is if they ever want to do any sports, then they're going to get used to quickly having body heat, and usually just have a spray bottle and to wet your t-shirt down and just take precautions to what activities you're doing that will affect heat.
Some of the parents ask about their child. Are they going to be able to play sports? How are they going to deal with, you know, being different from everyone else? Is my son, once he gets older, is he going to have girlfriends? Is that going to be an issue?
A typical kid can have problems growing up, whether it's bad home life or whatever, and you know, it's another set of obstacles, but if you have a positive outlook on life and you know where you think things can head for you, I think you can overcome pretty much anything you want to.
And I think that it just kind of encourages families whenever they say, I have it and happy, and I don't have that issue, you know, so overall just encourages them to live life to the fullest.
I have EEC, which is ectrodactyly, meaning fingers and toes, and ectodermal, and then I have a cleft lip syndrome, so that's the EEC of EEC. And so I'm missing 2 fingers on each hand and 2 toes on each feet, and had a cleft palate and bad teeth, those kind of things that go along with other forms of ectodermal dysplasia.
He was diagnosed at birth with ectodactyly ectodermal dysplasia, cleft syndrome, abbreviated EEC. He has cleft hands, cleft feet. He had absence of tear ducts, also some eye issues, nasal issues, ear issues.
Well, I am affected by Hay-Wells syndrome, and the way that Hay-Wells affects me is obviously I have no hair. I have only 2 natural teeth. I have hyperpigmentation, also hypohidrosis, or an inability to sweat properly. Extremely sensitive skin. When I was younger, I had a lot of skin erosions.
The National Family Conference is probably the most important thing that the foundation offers.
Knowing that each one of the kiddos that's here and has a chance to play with other kids who are also affected, and how important that is to them and shaping their lives and how they see themselves, every moment is gratifying.
But I didn't know there was any group or whatever. And so when I Googled dental implants and found NFED, it's like, wow, there's a group that's out there actually, concerned about people with what I have. And I just devoured everything on their website and found they had a conference, a family conference. I went that July. 2 months later, it was my 50th birthday. I'm kind of a shy person, and I walked in the hotel, and I can't remember who the first person I saw there was, but it was like I came home.
There is that instant connection, and they can network with other families and say, what have you tried? What has worked for you? And they can learn from each other.
Just for your children to be able to see that they're not the only ones that are affected this way, or vice versa, see other kids that are affected that have been successful and have conquered a lot of things and said, I'm not going to let this get me down. I'm not going to let myself be completely different from everyone else, but be unique.
They can also not only network with families, but we have an entire board of doctors and dentists from all across the country who are experienced with ectodermal dysplasia. They've treated numerous patients, and so they can educate the families on being an advocate for the child, on what treatment they can expect and ask for when they go back home to their own care practitioners.
There's a piece of popcorn stuck back over here.
Would you like me to take it out?
Yeah, but try not to fall.
Oh, I heard yours.
Don't take my feet too far.
One mother that I met last year, she had asked her son, what is the hardest part about having ED? And he had said, trying to be normal all the time. And I think that just really stuck with me from one of the conferences, that this is their one opportunity that they don't have to try so hard. They can just be themselves. They don't have to worry about whether their teeth are in or whether or not their hair is all fuzzy and sticking up that day, or the kids with the EEC, they don't have to hide anything. They can just be themselves, be boys.
I have a little saying on my desk that says, pray for what you need, work for what you want. I think that's kind of our fundraising perspective as well, or at least mine. Fundraising is a tremendous challenge, particularly for a rare disorder that most people don't know about. We all know about the Susan Komen Run for the Cure. We all know about the muscular dystrophy telethon on Labor Day weekend, but how many people know about the ectodermal dysplasias? I think all of us would say that may be the biggest challenge for an organization like ours, is finding the money to sustain it. We never know where our path in life is going to go, and sometimes we take paths that are unexpected, that we maybe don't see ourselves really going down. But knowing that by contacting the NFED, they'll have somebody to walk with them. None of us as parents expect to have a child affected by a birth defect. It's not what any of us plan for. But if we can look at it as an unexpected journey that we can take with friends, then maybe it may not be as bad as we thought it might.